are back in action next week. So that means this weekend is kind of my last free weekend. So I'm going to head down to western Iowa. Now, why am I headed to western Iowa? Well, that's where the Loess Hills is. And if the weather clears up, we should have some great views, some early fall colors, and hit some very interesting Class B roads. Roads that you won't find anywhere else like that in the country. But it needs to be pretty clear because they can be pretty slick and greasy if they're wet. So let's hope for the best weather. There are also some other places they want to check out while I'm down there. And you can look for some videos on those places and the Loess Hills and whatever else I find interesting down here. I've got a few days and I'm just going to have some fun. And with that, let's keep going and we'll hit our first point of interest. After 3.5 hours of driving southwest from home, I rolled into my first destination along West Lake Okoboji in northwest Iowa. Well, I am just south of Spirit Lake, Iowa, at a place called Arnold's Park, and it is the site of the 1857 Sioux Massacre here in Spirit Lake. 36 pioneer settlers were killed here, and one of the survivors was a 13-year-old Abby Gardner. She survived, and she came back here and she built this cabin that you see behind me, and that was put there. So this is a historic site in Iowa. There's a big marker here, as you can see, in memory of the pioneers that were killed here. I stopped here because we're going to run into some of the Sioux names as we get deeper into the Loess Hills area. So there's a tie between this historic site here along Okoboji Lake and places that we're going to see deeper once we get into the Loess Hills. Across the street from the memorial spire and inset between the yards bordering the park is the small Gardner family cemetery. Abigail Gardner Sharp, orphaned and enslaved by renegade Sioux, lies here along with her two sons Alan and Albert and several other family members. We can see the marker behind me in memory of the pioneers here. I am about maybe an hour or so north of my starting point on the route I have to cut through the Loess Hills. So we should probably get going. It looks like the sun's trying to come out, sort of. It's gray again. Maybe it'll sprinkle, but I'm hoping the sun will pop and stay out. But let's get rolling. The Loess Hills area have been on my radar for quite a while, and I was looking forward to exploring the dirt roads that branch off from the scenic byway that winds through this area of the western Iowa. Now, last week was dry and beautiful, but this weekend's weather is dicey. In fact, I made plans for Iowa, then canceled them after seeing the forecast, then remade them again after seeing central Wisconsin look even wetter with heavy rain. Right now on this route, it's supposed to be partly sunny, but it's not looking good. Alright, well, I am headed towards the town of Moville, which is where I kind of have my route starting. But yeah, it's raining again. I'm losing faith that we're going to be able to hit some of these roads because they just could be too greasy. But we'll see. Also, something in my cooler or whatever has developed the most annoying squeak on the planet. So I've stopped like 3 times to try to figure that out. I think I got it figured out, but it was like driving me crazy. Anyway, I'm hoping the weather clears. We'll see. Alright, yeah, this is my first Class B road here that I've encountered in Iowa, and it is gooey. It's straight, thank goodness, but I can feel the truck kind of playing around in it, so I'm going to keep both hands on the wheel. Alright, I just took a break in Quimby, Iowa. Small little town. I grabbed some snacks. I'm gonna hang a left here and then go stop and check out a little pioneer cemetery, I think. And then it's into Mobile, and then we are on to the Class B roads, the cool roads of Loess Hills. It stopped raining, thank goodness, so hopefully that'll stay that way. The sun's trying to come out, but we'll see. So far it has been very promising. Sitting on a plot of land just north of Kingsley, Iowa, is the Elkhorn Pioneer Cemetery. It's the resting place for 72 pioneer residents, including 5 Civil War veterans. Many children are resting here too, after losing their lives when diphtheria swept through the area. While the cemetery looks sparse, many graves are now unmarked, with their wooden crosses and markers having rotted away over time. Today, local American Legion members carefully maintain the cemetery by hand, trying not to disturb the fragile ground. The passage of time and the return of the natural prairie has broken down the wooden coffins, so using large equipment would only further damage this century-and-a-half-old sacred ground. Okay, I'm in Mobile, and the first road we're going to hit is just a few miles south of here. And the rain has stopped. It's gray, but it's stopped. Well, that's the way I came from. There's the truck now. Well, that was sketchy. It didn't look like it was going to be thick, and then I suddenly was sinking in, 3 inches. So these roads are very deceptive and very slick and greasy. The steep hills, I'm glad I was able to have enough momentum to get up, but I think if you're in a all-wheel drive car or a two-wheel drive car, you're going to be screwed on this one, which is pretty common. That's what they said. I'm hoping they're not all this soft. I think I'm going to have to maybe walk them a little bit before I find myself in a hole I can't get out of. This is a road just south of the one I came down. And this is like it's all uphill. I don't know. And the ground I'm on, it feels solid under my feet, sort of. But with the weight of the truck, I know it's going to sink. And that looks like iffy down there. I don't know. I'm going to avoid this one. I'm going to swing back, catch the other road back to the main road. Just because of the hills on it and the fact that it only stopped raining maybe an hour and a half ago, maybe. And again, everything I've read about it is you can find yourself in a pickle after rain. So I'm by myself, don't have anyone to pull me out, so I'm going to play it safe here. Even though it was just my first road, I was already feeling nervous about the wet conditions. The fear of being stranded in one of the low spots between the steep hills was now a possible reality. The Loess Hills are a unique and fragile landscape of steep, rolling hills formed from thick deposits of windblown silt or loess along the Missouri River, primarily in western Iowa. You also find areas in eastern Nebraska, formed after the last ice age when glaciers crushed rock into a fine sediment and deposited into the hills. The Loess Hills are globally significant, with only one other place on Earth, in China, having comparable loess deposits. The area is known for its rugged beauty, unique ecosystems where eastern forests meet western prairies, and the tall dirt-lined Class B roads draw a lot of people here as well. And that's what drew me here, to be able to put tires on these roads that you won't find anywhere else in the country. But today, unfortunately, they're damp, but I feel like they're drying out. This hill is another one of the Class B roads. And you can see how steep it goes up there. We'll keep walking up there a little bit, but I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way up there. I'm not going to try it. It is very soft underfoot right here, and I'm not even on the slope yet. But I thought I'd walk up a little bit just because of the terrain is cool, and just these tall walls are just awesome. Yeah, you can see just how muddy it is and how steep that is. Not gonna do it. It's cool to check out, but I don't want to get stuck or hosed, because the problem is there's no outlet, and if I go up the hill and I get down the other side, I'm not going through. It would be soon when I would make a poor decision about exploring these Class B roads. I let my sense of adventure overrule some good judgment, and was lucky things didn't get even worse. On the earlier roads I drove, I left some good tracks and spun the tires some, but not causing any substantial ruts. But here, I really did some damage that will now take a full season and someone else's manpower and time to fix. Simply put, I should not have been on this road. Sign on the along the road here, just outside of the town of Otto, and it said this was part of the Smoky Hollow Loop. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to look into that. I'm sure it's a scenic drive, yeah, it's it's labeled as one of the Iowa scenic byways, Smoky Hollow Loop. Again, I'll have to look into it. So that marker behind me marks a campsite where a Sioux Indian named Inkpaduta led a bunch of renegade Sioux in this area. And it was a harsh winter of 1956 and 57 in this area. And they stayed at a farm, but because of a dispute over some stolen corn, apparently the relations all fell apart and it got real ugly. And earlier today we stopped at Spirit Lake and I showed you the site where there was the massacre by Sioux Indians there of 36 pioneers. It was Inkpaduta a month later after camping here that went up to Spirit Lake and then committed that atrocity. So I said it would tie in, and here's the tie. You know, it's interesting to learn the history of this area. This is my first time here really stopping and looking at it. I've ridden motorcycles through here, but not on these crazy B roads or anything like that. It's a beautiful place and I'm having a good time, and I'm anxious to learn more about this area and some more of the history. It was getting pretty late in the afternoon, and after a full day of driving in the damp and then slowly drying conditions, I was thinking about where to camp. I had marked a few places on my route, so it was time to drive by and check them out. So I'm in the Southwood Conservation Campground near Smithland, I think, something like that. Pretty nice here. It's pretty. See the lake behind me. But it's 4 o'clock and I think I'm going to continue on a little bit. I've got a couple other campsites marked, but this is a pretty big place. It looks very nice. Maybe some other time, but I can always come back here too if the other places are too small or too crowded or something, or too full, whatever. Because there was some spaces that are empty. Unfortunately, there's not a, it's either tent camping or it's electrical hookups, and I don't need that. But I do want to tent camp next to the truck. I've got the swag today, so 25 bucks, that's okay. Not great, but it's okay. But yeah, this is a beautiful park. When I pulled into the conservation area, I noticed there was an overlook. So before continuing my search for camp, I definitely needed to check out the Loess Hills view. From this build-up overlook, you can get an incredible view of the grasslands and timber areas of the Southwood Conservation Area. This looks like a wonderful area to hike and explore the wildlife and habitat that make up this amazing section of Iowa. Well, this is quite the view. This is the scenic overlook at Southwood Conservation Area. It's quite a view. It's pretty nice. I may find myself back here. I do want to check out one more campsite, but I wanted to check this little overlook before I left the park, and I might be back. It's pretty nice. Well, I'm camped just near Smithland, Iowa. I decided to check out this place called Peters Park, and I decided to stay there. No deadfall, it's a little slower. I kind of got the place to myself here in this area. And it was probably easier for me to park the truck and get the swag next to the truck, easier. I'm just gonna have a quick, easy night tonight. I'm gonna heat up some water and do one of these instant meals that I need to get rid of. I've had them for a while, I need to use them up. But yeah, I'm going to eat and then go sit by the fire for a while. So I'll see you in a bit. There we go. All right, looks like I got the fire going. Overall, it was a pretty good day, even though it was rainy and wet. I was hoping it was going to stop raining, but it didn't. So here's what it is. And I probably should have taken that into better consideration, because I also made some pretty stupid decisions today too. I was so excited to be down here and run those roads. I wanted to check them out. That was the main reason for coming, and I really used some piss poor judgment. I probably shouldn't have run those roads. I did more rut damage than I thought I was going to, especially when I looked back at that last one. And that's going to last a while, and somebody's going to fix it, and it's not a good thing. I shouldn't have done it. So tomorrow, I'm going to use better judgment. And it's a chance of rain tomorrow, but if they're wet, I'll walk them a little bit and show them to you. Like I did that one road, but that last road, when I looked back at that, it was a mess, and I probably shouldn't have done it. I know I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. So tomorrow, better judgment, and I apologize to the farmers for screwing up their roads. It's a beautiful place, and I don't need to mess it up, especially if someone follows me in, and so better judgment tomorrow. Ugh. Well, good morning, everybody from Iowa. It looks to be a beautiful day. It's sun is shining, there's some clouds, but I don't see any rain, and the rain forecast is very, very light today, so that's good. I do want to hit some more Class B roads, but again, I'm going to use better judgment today. If they look muddy, I'll skip them. Maybe fly the drone over them so you can take a look at them. I want to see them too. But if I can't drive them, that's okay. I just don't want to chew them up like what happened yesterday. So anyway, I'm going to take down and get rolling and go find some coffee. After a quick strike of camp, I was on the road and headed to the town of Smithland in search of some hot coffee and a fill up of fuel. Unfortunately, I didn't find either, but I did take a moment to check out the old log cabin museum glowing in the bright fall sunshine. Even though I was critically low on coffee, the truck still had a good run of miles left in her. So I hit the trail and hoping I'd make it to the town of Pisgah for some petrol.
just west of the river. Mississippi mud running in my veins. And on the road is where I found freedom. And hotel rooms is where I found peace. I spent my whole life running from Iowa. It's gonna be a long way home. And it's gonna take my heart and soul, my heart and soul. We started off before I started school. Mom and Dad said we're headed south, we're gonna move. Well, I hung on for a year or two after, but I forgot that house and trail ridge road. I spent my whole life running from Iowa. It's gonna be a long way home. It's gonna take my heart and soul, my heart and soul. I only see you now in memories, or in the night on a long drive through. Someday I'll pull off the road somewhere near East Des Moines, and I'll find that little church where my family filled the pews. I spent my whole life running from Iowa.
When you Google Loess Hills, you're for sure to get two images to pop up. One, the legendary Class B roads with the high dirt walls that make this area so unique. And two, the view from the Loess Hills Forest overlook. And now it was my turn to see this magnificent view west in person. Well, this is the Loess Hills overlook at Preparation, and the views are absolutely stunning here. The colors are starting to come in. The trees aren't changing, but all the grass is turning that gold color. It's beautiful. I still need to find gas, so I think I'm gonna make a beeline a little bit south to Pisgah, I think it's called. But I need to find some fuel pretty darn quick. Okay, well, I was finally able to get some fuel in Pisgah, and I'm going to go ahead and head west to Murray Hill Scenic Overlook. There's an offshoot on the way, but I think I'm just going to bypass that just to save some time, because I want to get to this overlook, and then I want to get deeper into the Loess Hills State Forest. I was just a few miles west of Pisgah when I stopped at the Murray Hill Overlook. Here I met a gentleman who was using his drone to take photos of the bike riders taking part in the Embrace the Hills bike event. I'm glad I'm in the truck because riding the hills looks pretty grueling. But it's all for a good cause, to support the Matthew House Food Pantry. It wasn't long until I was at another must-drive Class B road. Like an exit ramp, Fulton Road veers off the main gravel and up into the hills, leaving this tall wall of dirt standing like a thin slice of apple, or should I say mud pie. While the road conditions were improving today, the road was steep and still too soft for my liking. Yeah, so that's Fulton Road behind me, and that was the route I'm going to go. Where is it at? But it's just not a good idea. It's steep and it's still pretty muddy, so I'm not going to do it. Could be a big problem if I get stuck up there or have an issue. So I'm going to do a workaround and we'll go from there. You can do it. I have faith.
Oh man, I'm almost there. I'm glad we don't have to go that way.
Yeah, I was going to try to, but I think I'll chew it up too bad.
Last year we did go that way.
I think it's too wet.
Yeah. Yeah, there's hills here.
You bet. Even though it wasn't quite noon yet, I was having some concerns and thoughts about continuing the Loess Hills. I underestimated the time it would take to drive the whole route and was planning on exploring and recording additional parts of Iowa this weekend. I was definitely not going to be able to do that if I continued on here in the Loess Hills. Plus, I was having doubts about the road conditions further along the route, even though the sun was out. So embrace the idea of a drastic change of plans. Well, it's 11 o'clock on Saturday, and I'm not even at Council Bluffs yet. So what I think I might do is just call it on this route in Loess Hills, and I want to head east into Iowa because there's some other stuff I wanted to shoot while I'm down here. This is beautiful, so I'll have to come back and then start at Council Bluffs and then go south. It's not a long distance to the end in terms of as the crow flies, but there's a lot of offshoots I want to do. And if they're going to be anything like Fulton, I'm not going to be able to drive them anyway because they're going to be too sticky and muddy, and I don't want to tear anything up. So I think what I'm going to do is call this video here at this point and head off into central Iowa for some other content. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And leave a comment if you've been to the Loess Hills and if you like the Loess Hills. And I will see you guys later, so go get lost on some beautiful back roads. My time in the Loess Hills was wonderful, and I will be back. But I'm off to see a classic roadside oddity and central Iowa's most famous landmarks. And the home of the Duke. I have a lot to do, so I better keep moving. Y'all drive safe, and I'll see you in the next one.